Hey guys, Kevin here. What I've got here is the Sennheiser KA 600 adapter cable. You can see it comes in a very simple packet. Now what this is a 3.5mm to XLR connection. So it is an adapter cable for microphones. Now I'll show you the cable first, and then I want to talk about why this is very useful. And then I'd like to do a quick audio test just to show you how this works. So it's got an XLR connection, forget it here. XLR connection at the top, it's got the locking mechanism, and it's got the 3.5mm connection at the other side. Now, there was a few reasons why I went for the Sennheiser. This one was total £17.50 in the UK. They threw in a few 8GB SD cards, which I probably won't use, but anyway. Now, there was cheaper alternatives for this. You know, there was cheaper alternatives out there. One's about £7-8, you know, more than half the cost. They were from lesser brands, so that was, you know, a reason why I didn't go for that. But there was another few reasons why I didn't go for them. This one doesn't seem like a big thing, but it comes with a right angle for the jack. Now, I think that's really important, because if you're, you know, connecting to your camera, you want to minimise, you know, the way that the cable comes down. The other thing was that a lot of the other connections, you kind of need to decide whether you go with a short cable or a long cable. They all had kind of fixed lengths. They were, you know, say 1 metre or 3 metres or half a metre, that kind of thing. So my worry was that in certain situations a cable would be too short, in other situations the cable would be too long. And as you can see here, I think, you know, the coiled cable makes the most sense. I think the majority of the time it's going to be short, but it is good to know that you can extend it. You could probably get to about, see, I'm not going to pull it too much, but probably about 1 metre. When it's not extended, you're talking it's about 25 to 30 centimetres, and they can go up to around 1 metre or something. I'll explain why this is very useful. When you're talking about microphones, I think there's only really 3 main types of connections. You've got a USB connection, you've got a 3.5mm connection, and you've got an XLR connection. Now, USB mics tend to be at the low to mid end. They tend to be ones that are for, well, cheap ones for podcasting, for webcams, for that kind of thing, and they can range anything from, you know, just a few dollars to $100 or $200. The higher end of the scale, you don't tend to get USB connections. They're not used in field recordings, and when you're talking about higher production values, it's nearly always a 3.5mm cable or an XLR cable. Now, there's a lot of misinformation online about XLR cables and 3.5mm cables, you know, as far as which mic is better and things like that. A lot of people are saying that XLR is better, but it is better, but not for the reason that a lot of people are saying. Some people are saying that XLR provides better quality, and apparently, you know, I've read a lot of people saying this, and I've read a lot of top you know, production companies say this as well. There is zero difference between an XLR connection and a 3.5mm connection as far as quality goes. Zero difference. You know, they'll provide the exact same quality. You know, if two mics are the same and one's got a 3.5mm connection and one's got an XLR connection, there will be no difference. The main difference is that an XLR connection is safer, and, you know, I'll just kind of illustrate that point here. So this is my Samsung Q2U, known as the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 USB in America, and this actually has a USB connection and an XLR connection. But if I plug this big thick cable in, it's really strong. I'll plug it in, if you can get it, plug it in, and you can probably hear that it was locking there, see it? So once that's in, you cannot take that out. You need to actually push the button down. There's a little button there, hear it clicking. You push that down to release. Now, that is one of the main benefits of the XLRs, because if, get this out, if you are out recording, if you're out in the field, or even if you're recording at home, a 3.5mm connection can very easily come out. This is my Panasonic Lumix G6. This has a microphone port in it, and I will just show you. Here's a 3.5mm extension cable. So there's the cable in. Now just imagine at the other side was a microphone and you're recording. That's how easy it is. And that is the risk with 3.5mm connections. There are some benefits to 3.5mm connections as well, though that's why they're so popular. For one, they're smaller, they're lighter. You know, you don't always want a big thick cable. 3.5mm connections are very popular with on-camera mics. So on-camera mics is where you plug in there, the 3.5mm cable there. There'll be a short cable and it'll sit on the hot shoe at the top. You've seen them before. They tend to be shotgun mics and they just sit on the top like that. You can get XY mics and that kind of thing as well. But what I'm going to do now is just connect this up to my audio recorder, which is actually recording just now, and I'm going to show you how this works, and you can be the judge whether it's good or not. Let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm back, and if you notice the lighting is a little bit different, it's because it's about 4 or 5 hours later. HP came to fix the problem with my laptop, the casing was damaged. So they're away, and I just want to show you this now. Now this is the setup, and it looks a little bit bizarre. That is partly because of my audio recorder, and it's partly because of this microphone. So just to illustrate that I am connected using this, I'll talk just now, but this is a dynamic microphone, which means that if I keep talking and then I move away from the microphone, it's going to get quieter and quieter and quieter. And that's because a dynamic microphone, you know, obviously they need you to be quite close to the mic. Pros and cons for that, but one of the things, you know, just to show you that, I'll show you how this is connected. I think that's the best way to explain what's going on here. So, I've got my audio recorder, and this is, you know, this is about the same size as the Zoom H1. It's a Sony one, the ICD SX2000. I love it because it's so portable, and you know, lots of other things. Retractable USB, it's the future. So basically, hold on. Here's what I've got. I've got, if I can show you here. I've got the audio recorder. I've got the Sennheiser KA 600 connector in. Now I could have plugged that directly into this microphone, okay? But I didn't. I'm using the full extension cable. Now I noticed that, you know, it depends on your setup, and the reason I'm saying that is because this microphone, the Samsung Q2U, or the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 USB, it's got an XLR port, it's also got a USB port. Now here's the thing, you can charge it using the USB port when you're connected to your computer. To connect it to XLR, normally what happens is you put it into a mixer, or you put it into an audio recorder such as a Tascam or a Roland or a Zoom, and that provides power to it. It's a dynamic microphone, so it doesn't need a battery. It's normally condenser mics that need phantom power, and the phantom power can be provided by a mixer or, you know, by a battery. This doesn't need it, but, you know, obviously an XLR connection is not providing the power here. We've got an XLR to 3.5mm connection, as you can see. So basically, the small problem that I ran into is that this doesn't work directly with this audio recorder, and that I need to charge it using the USB cable. The problem with that is it wasn't charging through a power bank, so what I've actually done is connected all the way to my laptop. So this is charging through my laptop to power it, but I'm recording through my audio recorder. Now this has nothing to do with the Sennheiser. I think it's worth pointing out though, you know, if I had a larger audio recorder, you know, and there are some good arguments saying that I should buy a bigger audio recorder. Like, as I said, I used to have the Zoom H6 that had 4 XLR inputs, and if I had that, then I wouldn't need to power through USB, which I am here. But this doesn't have that, and it's one of the things that you sacrifice when you have a small recorder. It's not a major issue, but I think if I was using a mic with this, you know, if I was out and about, I'd use a shotgun mic, so I could just, you know, a shotgun mic with 3.5mm, so I could just plug in. With the XLR input, this particular microphone needs to be powered either through a USB to the computer, or it needs an XLR into a mixer or an audio recorder. However, this isn't a problem with the Sennheiser. I could pick up a condenser microphone that was battery powered. You know, there's many Sennheiser themselves, the MKE 600 shotgun mics, a few £100. That is a shotgun mic, and it uses an XLR connection, but because it's battery powered, you know, that would plug directly into this audio recorder. So you wouldn't have 50,000 cables lying around. It really is because of this microphone, the way that this one works. You know, it doesn't have a battery, so you have to either put it through USB or direct XLR connection. And because it's XLR to 3.5mm, it doesn't work. Now, this isn't the kind of thing I'm going to be using all the time. You know, it is an adapter, but what it will do is allow me to use XLR mics with this audio recorder. In theory as well, I've not tested it yet, but it also means that I could connect this to a number of different things. I showed it earlier. I can connect to, get it here, my camera. So I could plug this into my camera and record. I could also plug it into my smartphone. It looks like a standard TRS connection. If that didn't work, what I could do is get a TRRS connection. I don't want to talk about that too much in this video, but essentially this has got the 3.5mm connection that's got, you know, 3 segments instead of 4. So you can convert it to 4 for iPhones and for Android phones and things like that. So yeah, really in theory, what this connection will do, what this adapter will do, the KA600, can allow you to connect an XLR mic to your camera, to an audio recorder such as this, smaller versions that don't have XLR inputs, or to a smartphone. You know, there shouldn't be a loss of quality from what I've read. You know, there won't be any loss of quality by using this. Time will tell, but I don't believe there will be. I really like this. It's a simple little product. It really is a simple product, but what it does is I like how it'll lock into the XLR connection as you would expect. But the point of, the weakness point, you know, the weakest part of this system is clearly the audio recorder. I like how it goes at the right angle, but at the end of the day, this is still a 3.5mm connection. And as I said before, you know, it's very easy to pull it apart. But I think the right angle really helps with that. You know, it means that you're not going to have the wire hanging around and you can bend it around. Hope you've enjoyed what you know, finding out about this product, guys. I know a lot of you guys are YouTubers. I know a lot of you guys record videos, and you know, maybe some of you are podcasters as well. So I'm sure you're going to find this type of adapter very useful. And again, just to remind you, there is no quality difference between an XLR or 3.5mm connection. You know, that's what most of the experts are saying, and really it is about the safety of, you know, XLR locking, and I showed you that, you know, the cable won't pull out. I think this is very useful because in the future, should I buy a shotgun mic that is an XLR connection, it means that I can connect it to a smaller audio recorder. It means that I can connect it to a camera, such as my Panasonic Lumix G6. So I could easily put an XLR powered mic onto that camera now, and you know, as I said, I can use it in a smartphone. I doubt I'm going to use an XLR mic with a smartphone. I think that's overkill, but I'm going to find this useful. I'll leave a link to the official website so you can look at the specifications of this down below in the comment area. And, you know, I hope you found this useful. Get any questions, please do ask me. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. And I feel like I'm a singer now walking about with this microphone. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, take care.